This is Out Loud and Live with JC Alvarez. This episode, I catch up with my GalPal, actor, comedic writer, and overall fashion icon, Jenny Saldaña, to get an inside glimpse into her summer closet of 100 days of no repeat outfits, and also discuss her new book of practical insight for anyone who has dated in the digital age. So I'm curious if what I'm looking at is one of your 100 outfits.
Yes. I just shot it today. I just shot it out here. Let me show you the video. I haven't posted it yet, but let me show you the video.
Yeah, it's one of the highlights of my day when I see the...
Really? See my outfit of the day?
When I see
really? Oh, that makes me so happy.
Jenny's 100 outfits of the day. And I'm like, okay. Tens, and tens. Why did you decide to do that?
You know what? I decided to do it because I did it a long time ago on Instagram, and I was doing going out outfits.
Right.
And I did it, so it took me forever because I was doing it on weekends
like
and
you were
whatever.
getting ready to go out, and
I would just do it. So it took me months and months. And then I was like, you know what? Now that people want you to post every day and whatever, I was like, all right, let me try this. I know I have 100 outfits. I have more than 100. I'm only stopping at 100 because that's a nice number. I could probably go to 150, but I'm not going to push my luck, because there's some outfits I may not want to feature. Just because I own them don't mean I want to be in them.
Do you go through the comments?
I don't get as many comments as I would like.
Yeah.
Some comments are a lot of fun. So I have one. I'm trying to get a brand sponsorship. So all I wear is Zenny glasses. So I'm always tagging them, and they're sweating me. Like, they're constantly commenting on my stuff. They're like, "We love those. You look great. Oh my God." I'm like, book me. I am cheap labor. I will do your Instagram. I will do it. I may write them a letter, actually. So yeah, that's the only thing I feel. And I love the commentary on the voiceover. Full disclosure, it's me with a filter. But people ask me, like, who's the guy? He's so much fun.
No, you have to create the identity.
I know. I was gonna name him Fernando. Because he's one of my queens.
No, his name is Nando.
Of course, he goes by Nando, of course.
Because everyone calls it by Nando.
Everybody calls me Nando.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call him. I'm like, so one day that I do a long post, I'm like, who you want to know about me? I'm Nando.
It's really an extension of you. Seeing you do that is something that I never took for granted when we were kids growing up, because you used to do that all the time.
I've always loved clothes.
And now it's how you walk into rooms.
Yeah, it is how I walk into a room. Ta-da!
Exactly, and it works, and it's very authentic, and it's really kind of brilliant. And like I said, it's an extension of you and your personality. You are a comedic actor. You've also written a book. In an age where we're pushing authenticity. Well, authenticity is sort of that
it's the trend.
It's the word. It's the word. It's like it's the bullet point that they're hitting on, and authenticity is something that I think people read almost immediately if you're not being authentic.
Yeah, I have a lot of controversial opinions.
Do you?
Just a few?
It's true. Yeah. I think we're fortunate that, as hard as things are, it's there's so many fun moments to latch on to.
Yeah.
And things that that God bless those moments, which are fantastic. You capitalize on a lot of those moments in your new book. The book is called Master First Dater, Second to None, and it is a desperate digital dating diary. And you also chose to do some really nice readings. You brought the audience in and read parts of it online. But tell me a little bit about the genesis of the book, which I kind of
You lived some of it with me, so
it's like I understand everything. And there's just like, yes, when you read something, you just go, yeah.
I came to terms with the fact that as a Latina...
Okay, and we're back.
I have come to terms with the fact that as a Latina, I experience a lot of pressure. There's a lot of social... I didn't realize that I that I was affected by the social pressures of being a Latina, of being what I like to say, old and barren and alone. You know, like everything about Latinaness revolves around marriage.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, it's
everything.
an expectation.
And it's an expectation. Yeah. Men are supposed to be out there spreading their seed, but a woman's supposed to marry you.
Right.
You know, and I never, in all my life, my mother has said, and I grew up in a very traditional Christian home, and my mother has always said, Carlos is my first and only boyfriend. So I grew up with Carlos is my first and only boyfriend. Carlos is my first and only boyfriend. And I felt that I had to have a first and only boyfriend. And so I remember telling my first boyfriend, if we have sex, consider us engaged. I said it to him. So we never had sex. But
and he eventually found himself another boyfriend.
He definitely, right away, actually. It was quite quickly. It was quite quick. Like snip, snap.
It's not funny. It's a sad story, but it's
but it's true. It's the truth. It's my truth. And I felt that and because of that desperation, because of that need to find my Carlos, to find my first and to be married, to be an adult, because a woman in our culture is not an adult unless she is married or has children, right? So you're not an adult. My sister is 7 years younger than me, but she has 5 kids. You think my mother called? No, she's busy. No, she's so busy. She's so busy. She has kids. And I apparently don't have a life. So my mom calls me for everything, right? So I'm saying all of that has led me down a very difficult path, dating journey. Because when you in your head think that you have to marry the person you date immediately, like I remember, and this is pitiful, but I remember one time I was with my cousins and they were going to go visit some other cousins that weren't related to me. And so I knew that they were boys my age, and I remember I was 16. And I remember praying, Lord, let one of them like me so we can be boyfriend and girlfriend and then get married. Like, I remember saying that. I remember, like, all the flirting I did, all the things, because I never dated in high school. I never had a boyfriend. But I was very flirty. I was very outgoing. Everybody thought I was sleeping with everybody. I was the biggest. I hadn't even made out with anybody, but it was because I desperately wanted you to like me. I wanted you to boys. I wanted boys. And I would see these girls, and they had boyfriends, and I'm like, and I really believed that nobody was having sex. I believed that. Because everybody's acting like that, like, oh, I'm a virgin. So I really believed that. So come to find out in my 10-year reunion, when I found out a bunch of people had abortions in high school and all that stuff, and I was like, oh my God, they talk so ill of me, like Jenny said, and they're the ones, they were like that. So dating me was difficult because I wanted to get married. At 16,
you had an expectation, you had an agenda.
I had an agenda, and I just thought, every guy I ever dated, I always pictured myself walking down the aisle to him. I'm talking about on day one. Like, is this him? What am I gonna wear?
I know it's him.
Yeah, and even if it made me stay in relationships longer than I needed to, because I was like, I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna make this work. So my book, Master First Dater, Second to None, because I always went on first dates and I never went on second dates. Like, it never developed, it never morphed into a second date. Either I didn't like them, either I got catfished, or we wanted different things. They just wanted to smash, and I wasn't looking for do that. Now, a lot of these, I mean, this is all when I started adult. Now, I'm giving you my history. So this is about when online dating started. I started online dating. So I started documenting my dates because a lot of them were hysterical. Now the interaction online is very funny.
Yeah, it's full of pitfalls.
So and because I was only going on first dates, honestly, either they didn't like me, or I didn't like them, or there wasn't any it was never. It was, I probably got too drunk. Where you going?
Had to call a friend.
Had to call a friend. No, but because of that, I wrote a book, and I just wrote about my experiences, and I talk about the pain I felt.
Mm-hmm,
I talk about, I wanted this. I want to be married. I want to have a family. I want to, and not necessarily a family, but I want to be married. And so it's about that. It's about online dating. It's about the things that desperate people do.
Yeah.
Desperate people do desperate things. And I will admit and have no shame, because I have processed that I was extremely desperate. I was extremely desperate for a man. So I dated men I shouldn't have dated. I dated men I didn't want to date. Because of that.
Chronically and putting it all in the narrative, it, you know, because it reads very like anyone and everyone can relate to what you've written in the book. And what struck me, or what I thought, because these are real stories, and some of them are heartening stories, but did you see that they were funny? Like, did you see when you arrived at the punchline, like, did you realize, oh, this is
there's something here?
This is humorous.
It was when I was starting telling people my dates. They're like, oh my God, I went out with this guy and this, and he peed his pants. And everybody's like, are you writing this down? I was like, is that funny? They're like, yeah, it's funny. I'm like, okay. So I wrote it down. And it was also the fact that, like, my friends were having a hard time keeping up because I was giving them all nicknames. So because I gave them all nicknames, they're like, who's that? I'm like, Furlough. Who's that? The guy that got furloughed from his job. And what's that? Oh, that's Uniballer. The guy that has one nut.
and that's it in a nutshell.
That's it in a nutshell. Yeah. So it was that. So I was like, okay, let me just die. At first,
was it therapeutic? Did you?
It was therapeutic.
As you were putting it down, you know. It also, like, was it therapeutic? And when you were writing it all down, were you also kind of like giving a wink and a nod to that girl? Were you like saying,
yeah,
good for
was.
You?
I mean, I guess I was. I mean, there were things that I said. There was one interaction that I just put screenshots on, and I even wrote, I know I went too far. Like, I just took it too far, and I'm like, and I say that I did it for the book, but no, I did it because there's also a part of me, I don't know if it's the Aries in me, that needs you to be right, that needs you to admit that I'm right. Like, I did it! It's me! Like, when I busted, like, I got a catfish to confess, and I hate that I got him to confess, because now I think I can turn every catfish, and I'm always like, keep talking to these like, I could tell they're catfish, but I keep trying to pull, like, come on, tell me.
You're a catfish hunter now.
Yeah, that's me. I'm like the Steve Irwin. I don't want to be Bindi Irwin. I want to be Steve Irwin.
No, there's a thing in that, catfish hunting, so it's kind of like, you know.
There is?
Well,
catfish hunter.
You can expand
yeah, because I'm a catfish hunter, and I like to bust them. Like, I'm like, because I'll tell you the story. One I busted. The one I busted, he kept, like, he was going back and forth, and he told me that he was a doctor on a mission trip in Africa.
Oh, that's right there.
Now, I actually, at that point, I worked at a hospital, and I knew doctors that went on mission trips. So every time we're texting, every time I would be like, good morning. And he'd be like, good morning, how are you? I said, I'm great. He goes, what are you doing? I'm having a great day out here, you know, just saving lives.
Uganda.
I'm like, doctors don't talk like that. So I'm like, okay. So the doctor's like, I'm here saving lives. I'm like, okay. And then I would be like, where are you from again? He's like, Brooklyn, USA. Nobody says that, right? So I'm like, okay. And then I would say, I'm like, and every day, I'm like, when are you coming? Because then he's like, I don't know. And then I said, you know what? And this is how I like to catch my catfish. I take a picture of myself that day, and I write the day's date on it. And I'm like, and then I go, what are you doing right now? They're like, nothing, just talking, just enjoying this conversation with you, sweetheart. And then I send the picture. And I go, this is me right now. Send me the same. So he sends me a picture. But he goes, I'll do you one better. I'll send you a video of me at the gym today. So he sends me a video of the person he's pretending to be working out at the gym. And I said, this is lovely, but it doesn't have today's date on it. I have something with the date on it. And then he's like, okay. He goes, okay, here you go. He sends me a certificate from Yelp Now, this guy says he is a surgeon. He is a surgeon saving lives in Africa.
Sure, yeah.
So he sends me a certificate, like a Yelp certificate, like for a business that you got whatever, you got so many reviews, and Yelp for a chiropractor in California.
Oh, okay.
So I says, this says you're a chiropractor in California. He goes, yes, I'm a chiropractor too. So you're a chiropractor and a surgeon?
Wow, you're magnificent.
Oh my,
you're a catch.
You are a catch, and your bike, and you commute from California to New York to come to do surgery.
Are you a pilot?
Oh my God. So I said, so if I call this number of this place right here, they're going to tell me you're on a mission trip in Africa. And he says, do what you want, but if you don't trust me, this won't work. I said, hold my beer.
You hear that sizzling?
You see
like a catfish.
So then I call the number and I get a voicemail and I say, hi, this is very strange. My name is Jenny, but I'm talking to someone that says they're you. And I just want to make sure that you are you and that you are on a mission trip in Africa. Please give me a call back at your earliest convenience. The guy calls back and he goes, oh my gosh, stop it! In his best WeHo accent, Chelsea accent. It's like, are you serious? Oh my God, I'm like freaking out, but like kind of flattered. And I'm like, yeah. He says you're a chiropractor. He says you're a surgeon doing mission trips in Africa. He goes, I'm a chiropractor. I was like, I know. And I said, well, thank you for your time. I apologize.
Great rating on Yelp.
Yelp, and you're very gorgeous. I'm so sorry it's not you. But I know I don't play on your team, right? So I go back, and the name was Jason. So I go back to Faux Jason. And I go, listen here, Faux Jason. I just spoke to real Jason. It ain't you. And he's like, I don't care what you think. And then I was like, let me change my tune because I'm in this. I want to get him. Yeah. So I go, I'm very hurt, Jason. I was really falling in love with you. And I kept waiting for you to come. I kept asking, when were you coming?
Games.
Now you just came in game. Are you ever going to really come to New York? I mean, I feel really bad. I was falling for you. He's like, I'm in love with you too.
Oh.
And I go, what? He goes, I'm sorry I lied, but I had to. And I said, why did you have to lie? I'm so hurt. I love you. And he says, I had to lie because my dream is to marry a white woman.
Oh.
And I'm like, espérate. I'm like, I'm not white, papi.
Oh.
He's like, yes, you are. Now who's lying? I'm like, you look pretty white in your pictures. I'm like, not even. Not even.
Oh,
but guess
God.
what? I will be reporting you to OkCupid. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that was, but he confessed, so I was happy.
And these and many stories are chronicled in Jenny's book.
Yes, please check it out. Available on Amazon.
And also, I really want people to check you out on social, and especially 100 Dresses, Not Repeating 100 Dresses. They can see that on your TikTok and on your Instagram.
My Insta and my Facebook. So
what are those handles?
My Instagram is Little Brown Girl Show. My TikTok, I think, is The Little Brown Girl Show or Little Brown Girl Show. And
she don't know.
I don't know. I don't follow me. I don't be watching that. You know your own number?
I know my own telephone number.
Sometimes you be like, I don't know. I don't call me.
Well, but we'll be constantly checking in and doing this again. So.
And on my Facebook is my name, Jenny Saldanya, and follow me, comment on my dresses, see if you. I like to be cheeky with it, and I enjoy doing. It's a lot of work, believe it or not, to do this.
It's building a brand.
It's building a brand, and please, Zenny Optical, hire me.
You heard it here first.
Tag them. Tag them. Jenny loves you, Zenny Optical. And I'm just out here. Oh, and I have an update.
Oh.
Pew pew
On the
pew.
doctor. On the doctor.
I I am currently off the market. Yes, and I met him online.
Writing the book pays off.
Manifested, but here's the kicker. What did I grow up my mother saying?
Of course.
What did I hear my mother growing up saying? Carlos is my first and only boyfriend. Yeah. His name is Carlos.
See, moms are always right. God bless them.
Oh my goodness! So yes, I don't have daddy issues at all. That's because that's my dad's name. Obviously, because I.
And my middle name.
And your middle name, exactly. So
you're surrounded by
all the Carlos, by all the C's. I love being surrounded by C's.
It's one of the better letters in the
It is a really good letter.
It's a good letter. Oh man, I love you.
I love you. Mwah.
This has been Outline and Live with JC Alvarez. You can follow Jenny Saldana on social. Follow her on Instagram and TikTok at Little Brown Girl Show. Her book, Master First Dater, Second to None, Desperate Digital Dating Diary, is available to purchase on Amazon. For more of your favorite entertainment and pop culture news, check out thefanzite.com. Thanks for joining me, and always stay tuned.